This week's Torah portion has one of the most powerful spiritual insights that I've seen in a long time. It's nestled in the story of Noah. Remember the story of Noah? Right? Noach, the most righteous man in his generation. The world descended to corruption and depravity. Everyone went crazy, and one man and his family stayed normal. And God said, I'm bringing a flood. And God in his infinite wisdom said, I got to reset the world. Tells Noah, I'm bringing a flood. Here's what I want you to do. Build an ark. Well, why? Why doesn't you just put more... There were easier ways to do this, right? God could have put him on the mountaintop and been like, hey, listen, it's a pretty high mountain. Climb up there. I'll give you a week. And I'll bring up the waters just to the mountaintop, right? There could have been an easier way. God says build an ark. Why? Because he knew it would take Noah 120 years to build an ark. And in that period of time, hopefully people will be like, hey, Noah, what are you doing? God's bringing a flood. What? For real? I should really shape up. So 120 years comes, and nobody shapes up. And the day comes and starts to drizzle, and then to rain, and then to pour. And Noah is not getting in the ark. And it starts to fill up pretty quick. God knows how to do stuff. And it gets to his knees, and he's not going in the ark, and it gets to his waist and chest, and until the Torah says the water like pushes him in. The Torah says, Noah, miktane amuna, he is of the smallest of faith. Presumably, he didn't really believe that God would do it. So it took him this long to get in the ark. Like, it was raining, and he got all the way up there, and he still didn't believe it. Does it bother you? Does that little thing just bother you? Noah, the only man in the generation that's righteous, a man who spent 120 years building an ark. No cranes, no saws, no Lowe's, no Home Depot, like no crew that you can subcontract to. Like, he's of the smallest of faith. This man changes his whole life and spends the next 120 years building an ark. And he takes a minute till he gets in the ark, and they call him the smallest of faith. What is going on over here? So there's a sefer, there's a book called Mesilas Be'erach Hasidus. And in it is a piece from the Ohev Yisrael. And the Ohev Yisrael shares an insight that is unbelievable. Here's what he says. There's a concept called Imuna Hi Hamshacha. What does that mean? Faith draws to you. In life, the Ohev Yisrael says, there's a concept of faith. And there's a lot of aspects of faith. But one aspect of faith that we don't fully appreciate is that faith has the power to draw to you that which is destined for you. There are things in life that are destined for us. There are things in life that should come our way. There's potential that we should have, but it's not being realized. You ever feel that way? You ever feel like you're working, but you're not achieving the results? You ever feel like you're so close, but it's just always outside your grasp? It's almost working out. It's at the tip of your tongue. You ever feel that way? So, it could be. That thing is supposed to be yours. And what's lacking, in this case, is not the work, it's the faith. Amuna, as he says, has the power that because of it, it draws the thing to its source. What's missing isn't that you're not working for it, but you don't believe it. You don't believe you're going to get it. You don't believe God can give it to you. You don't believe you're good enough. You don't believe you have the ability. You don't believe that marriage should be great. You don't believe that your kids should be successful. You don't believe that God's going to save the day. God says be happy. You don't believe he knows you. So you're not happy. He tells you to be happy. You're like, what do you know? You're only God. You don't believe you can get through the stuff that he throws your way. Amuna. Amuna, this faith in what you could be, in God, in the potential that he gave you. That faith is necessary to draw in that which is coming to you, but can't get there without the faith. Noach was miktane amuna. The whole verse says that wasn't a bad thing, that was a good thing. You see, no one knew the secret. He knew that if you believe in something, you'll bring it closer to you. And he didn't want the flood. Miktane amuna, he limited his faith because he didn't want to believe in the flood. He believed in God, and he really believed he could do anything, but he didn't want to allow himself to believe that there's going to be a flood, because he knew that once he believed it, it would draw down. And what he was trying to do was block the flood. He didn't want the flood to happen. He didn't want people to die. He didn't see what God saw. So he didn't allow himself into the last minute, until they pushed him into the water. The waters pushed him into the ark. He didn't allow himself to believe in it in hopes that idea, that belief draws it in, it wouldn't be drawn in. And in many ways, this concept is blocking us from having the life that we want. It's not that it's not coming to us. It's that we don't believe it. It's not that we can't be happy, or we can't have a different life, or we can't have better relationships, or we can't be more spiritual. We can. We just don't believe it. We don't really believe that God can give it to us. We don't really believe that God knows us and loves us. We don't really believe that we're born with a piece of the infinite and we could do so much more. And our block is not our capacity, it's our belief. Amuna hi hamshacha. Faith is what draws to the end. And maybe we take a page out of that playbook and turn up the faith. It'll turn up so much more good coming our way.